The twin moons of the alien planet Zyvara hung low in the sky, their silvery light casting a tranquil glow over the vast, shimmering ocean. The waves whispered secrets to the black sands, their bioluminescent froth glowing faintly in shades of teal and violet. It was the kind of beauty that felt untouched, unmarred by civilization, a place where nature reigned supreme. Liam stood at the edge of this world, his boots half buried in the cool sand. He was an explorer, a scientist on a solitary mission to study the ecosystem of Zyvara, a planet so remote it had no recorded name in most galactic charts. His shuttle, a small but sturdy vessel, rested just beyond the dunes, its sleek form camouflaged against the alien terrain. He had been here for weeks, cataloging flora and fauna, recording atmospheric data, and marveling at the planet's untouched splendor. Yet tonight, his focus was on the rhythmic crashing of the waves. He found solace in the sound, a rare moment of peace in his otherwise demanding life. The air was crisp, tinged with the briny scent of the sea, and the distant hum of nocturnal creatures filled the silence. Suddenly, a sound broke through the stillness. It was faint at first, carried by the wind, but unmistakably a cry for help. Liam froze, his heart skipping a beat. He strained his ears, and the sound came again, a melodic yet desperate cry, unlike anything he had ever heard. Grabbing a portable light and his emergency medkit, Liam bolted toward the shore. The cries grew louder as he approached, their urgency fueling his adrenaline. He scanned the horizon, and there, amidst the churning waves, he saw her, a figure struggling against the relentless pull of the ocean. The sight was otherworldly. The figure glowed faintly, her luminous form contrasting sharply with the dark waters. Long strands of what looked like glowing blue tendrils fanned out around her, and her movements were frantic, her strength visibly waning. Without hesitation, Liam plunged into the icy water. The cold hit him like a shock, but he pushed forward, each stroke a battle against the powerful current. The closer he got, the clearer she became. Her features were breathtaking, delicate and alien, with skin that shimmered like polished pearl and eyes that gleamed like liquid starlight. Yet despite her beauty, she was in grave danger. "I've got you," Liam shouted as he reached her, though he doubted she understood. Wrapping an arm around her slender torso, he fought to keep them both afloat. The waves crashed over them, salt water stinging his eyes, but he refused to let go. Slowly, painstakingly, he dragged her back toward the shore. His legs burned by the time he felt the sand beneath his feet, but relief surged through him. He carried her limp form onto the beach and gently laid her down. She was still, her chest barely rising and falling. Her glowing skin flickered weakly, the light dimming with each passing second. "Stay with me," Liam muttered, dropping to his knees beside her. He reached out tentatively, his fingers brushing against her neck. To his surprise, he found what appeared to be gills, clogged with sand and debris. Acting on instinct, he carefully cleared them, his hands trembling slightly. A sharp gasp escaped her lips, followed by a sound that was almost musical. Her eyes fluttered open, and Liam found himself staring into pools of light that seemed to hold the entire galaxy. "You're okay," he said softly, his voice shaking with relief. "You're safe now." She stared at him, her expression a mixture of confusion and wonder. Slowly, she raised a hand, her webbed fingers trembling as they reached for his face. When her fingertips brushed his cheek, he felt a warmth that seemed to seep into his very soul. "Thank you," she said, her voice halting and musical, as though she were forming the words for the first time. "You can speak?" Liam asked, astonished. Her lips curved into a faint smile. "Learn from currents. Your kind came before." Liam frowned, his mind racing with questions. Who was she? What did she mean by currents? But now wasn't the time for interrogation. Her breathing was still labored, her skin too pale. "Can you move?" he asked gently. She nodded weakly, and he slipped an arm around her shoulders to help her sit up. Her form was lithe and graceful, her movements fluid despite her evident exhaustion. I'm taking you to my shuttle, he said. You need rest. She didn't respond but leaned against him, her trust evident in the way she allowed him to guide her. Together, they made their way to his shuttle, its interior lights casting a soft glow that seemed almost mundane compared to her otherworldly presence. Inside, Liam activated the med scanner, hoping it would provide some insight into her condition. The machine hummed to life, projecting a complex array of data onto its screen. While much of it was incomprehensible due to her alien physiology, one thing was clear: she was severely dehydrated. You need water, he said, fetching a container of purified liquid. She accepted it with both hands, her webbed fingers curling around the vessel. As she drank, her skin began to regain its soft glow, the light pulsing faintly in time with her breaths. What's your name? Liam asked after a moment, breaking the silence. She tilted her head, her luminous eyes narrowing in thought. Aelira, she said finally, her voice as soft as a breeze. Aelira, he repeated. I'm Liam. Liam, she echoed, a small smile playing at her lips. For the next several hours they talked, haltingly at first, as Aelira struggled to find the right words. She told him of her people, the Naraili, who lived deep beneath the ocean surface. Their bioluminescent abilities made them a target for hunters, mercenaries and poachers who sought to exploit their unique biology for profit. Aelira had been separated from her pod during a raid, forced to flee to the surface, where she had nearly drowned. Liam listened intently, his anger simmering as she described the hunters. The thought of anyone harming such a peaceful and extraordinary being filled him with rage. You're safe now, he assured her. I won't let anyone hurt you. Her gaze softened, and she reached out to touch his hand. Brave, human, she said, her voice filled with gratitude. As dawn approached, Aelira grew restless. She stood by the shuttle's open hatch, her eyes fixed on the horizon where the ocean met the sky. The first rays of sunlight illuminated her features, making her look even more radiant. I must return, she said softly. My people, they wait. Liam's chest tightened. He didn't want her to leave, not yet. But he knew she belonged to the sea, to a world far beyond his reach. Will you be okay? He asked, his voice tinged with worry. She turned to him, her expression gentle. Safer, because of you? Before he could respond, she stepped closer, her hands resting lightly on his shoulders. She leaned in, pressing her forehead to his in a gesture that felt deeply intimate. The warmth of her touch and the soft glow of her skin seemed to seep into him, leaving him breathless. Farewell, Liam, she whispered. And then she was gone, sprinting toward the water with a grace that defied gravity. She dove into the waves, her bioluminescent form glowing brightly before disappearing beneath the surface. Liam stood there long after she was gone, the sound of the ocean filling the silence. Though their encounter had been brief, it had left an indelible mark on him. As he turned back to his shuttle, he found himself looking at the stars with a newfound sense of wonder, knowing that somewhere, beneath the waves of an alien sea, a beautiful being named Aelira swam free. Liam tried to return to his usual routine of research and documentation, but the memory of Aelira lingered. Every time he heard the gentle crash of the waves or caught the faint shimmer of bioluminescent organisms in the water, he thought of her. Her voice, soft and melodic, replayed in his mind, and the image of her luminous form etched itself into his thoughts. The days passed, and though Liam focused on his tasks, cataloging species, collecting samples, and monitoring the ecosystem, he couldn't shake the feeling that his life had shifted somehow. He found himself scanning the ocean more often, half hoping, half expecting to see Aelira's glowing figure emerge from the waves. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the twin moons rose to cast their silvery light, Liam sat on the shore, gazing out at the vast expanse of water. The peaceful scene was broken by a sudden disturbance, a ripple in the waves that grew larger as it neared the shore. Liam's heart leapt. He stood, gripping his portable light, his eyes fixed on the water. A moment later, a familiar glow broke the surface, and Aelira emerged, her radiant form glistening in the moonlight. Aelira, he called, rushing toward her. She waded onto the shore, her movements hurried and tense. Her glow was dimmer than before, and her eyes were filled with urgency. "Liam," she said, her voice trembling. "I need your help." His stomach clenched at her tone. "What's wrong? Are you hurt?" She shook her head, her tendrils of hair shimmering faintly. "My people, they are in danger. Hunters, they have found us." The words hit him like a blow. "What can I do?" he asked without hesitation. Alira stepped closer, her gaze piercing. "You are strong, brave. You know machines' technology. We do not. We need your knowledge." Liam nodded. "Where are they? How far?" She gestured toward the ocean. "Not far. A hidden trench. But we must hurry." Without another word, Liam grabbed his gear, a waterproof case containing tools and his portable scanner. "Lead the way," he said. Alira hesitated, her expression troubled. "You cannot breathe underwater." Liam smirked. "I came prepared." He retrieved a compact rebreather from his bag, slipping it over his face. "This should do the trick." Her lips curved into a faint smile, though the worry in her eyes remained. She extended her hand, and Liam took it without hesitation. Her touch was warm, her grip firm despite her slender fingers. "Hold tight," she said. The currents are strong. With a fluid motion, she dove into the water, pulling Liam with her. The cold enveloped him instantly, but he focused on keeping pace as she guided him beneath the surface. The rebreather hummed softly, providing a steady flow of oxygen. As they descended, the water grew darker, the sunlight replaced by the eerie glow of bioluminescent organisms. Strange, alien creatures darted past, their translucent forms casting shifting patterns of light. Liam marveled at the beauty of it all, but Alira's urgency kept him focused. They reached the trench Alira had described, a massive chasm that cut through the ocean floor, its walls glowing faintly with phosphorescent algae. Alira paused, gesturing toward a cluster of rock formations that camouflaged an entrance to an underwater cave. Inside, the space opened into a sprawling cavern illuminated by the soft glow of dozens of Naraili. They moved with graceful precision, their forms casting shimmering patterns on the walls. But the atmosphere was tense. Their faces, so similar to Alira's, were marked with fear and determination. "They will come soon," one of them said, their voice resonating like a soft chime. "We must be ready." Liam turned to Alira. "What are we up against?" "Hunters," she said, her voice grim. "They use machines to trap and harm us. Their weapons, they burn the water, make it impossible to flee." Liam's jaw tightened. He had read about such tactics, thermal disruptors designed to incapacitate aquatic species. They were banned under galactic law, but black market hunters cared little for such regulations. "I can help," he said, "but I'll need materials. Anything metallic, conductive, whatever you have." The Naraili exchanged glances before several of them swam off, returning moments later with an assortment of alien artifacts and natural materials. Liam examined them quickly, his mind racing as he formulated a plan. Using the tools from his waterproof case, he began assembling a crude but effective countermeasure. He explained as he worked, his words simple but confident. "We'll create an electromagnetic pulse. It won't harm living beings, but it'll disable their machines. Once their weapons are offline, they'll be vulnerable." Alira watched him, her expression a mixture of hope and awe. "You would do this for us?" Liam paused, meeting her gaze. "You saved me the moment you trusted me, Alira. This is the least I can do." She reached out, touching his arm lightly. Brave Liam. Hours passed as they prepared. The device Liam constructed was crude but functional, its power drawn from the Naraili's natural bioelectric energy. He explained how to activate it, ensuring that Alira and her people understood its use. When the hunters arrived, their approach was marked by the ominous hum of their machines. The water around the trench grew hot, the hunters' thermal disruptors creating deadly waves. But the Naraili stood ready. At Liam's signal, they activated the device. A pulse of energy surged through the water, and the hunters' machines flickered and died. Disoriented and vulnerable, the hunters found themselves at the mercy of the very ocean they sought to exploit. The Naraili, guided by Aelira's leadership, drove the intruders away, their luminous forms weaving through the water like avenging spirits. When the battle was over, the ocean was calm once more. Liam stood with Aelira in the aftermath, the glow of the Naraili around them like a field of stars. "You saved us," Aelira said, her voice filled with gratitude.
"No," Liam said. "You saved yourselves."
"I just helped." Aelira smiled, her eyes shimmering. "You are more than brave, Liam. You're family now." As the Naraili gathered to thank him, Liam felt a profound sense of belonging. Though he would soon return to the surface and eventually to the stars, a part of him would always remain in the depths of Zyvara, where he had found not just beauty, but a bond that transcended worlds. Liam stayed with the Naraili longer than he had planned, drawn into their world not only by their gratitude, but by the undeniable connection he felt with them and with Aelira. In the days following their victory over the hunters, the Naraili welcomed him into their hidden sanctuary, a place teeming with life and beauty beyond his imagination. The underwater caverns were vast, stretching for miles in every direction. Bioluminescent flora lined the walls, casting a gentle glow that illuminated schools of shimmering fish and other aquatic creatures that moved through the water like living rainbows. The Naraili had created a thriving community here, their homes intricately woven into the natural architecture of the caves, blending seamlessly with their surroundings. Aelira took it upon herself to guide Liam, showing him the intricacies of their way of life. She explained how they communicated through a combination of sounds, light patterns, and even subtle shifts in the currents. Each Naraili had a unique glow signature, and they could speak through pulses of light that Liam found both mesmerizing and complex. "You are quick to learn," Aelira said one day as she watched him mimic a simple pattern of light pulses with a borrowed device. Liam grinned. "It's fascinating. Your people are so connected. I've never seen anything like it." Aelira's expression softened. "It is how we survive. The ocean is vast, but we are never alone." Their bond deepened with each passing day. Aelira was patient and kind, but beneath her calm exterior was a fierce determination to protect her people. Liam admired her strength, and she, in turn, seemed to draw comfort from his presence. They spent hours together, talking about their respective worlds and sharing stories of their lives. One evening, as they floated in a secluded alcove of the cavern, Aelira asked him about the stars. "Tell me what it's like," she said, her voice tinged with longing. "To see the universe from above." Liam leaned back, staring at the faint glow of the cavern ceiling. "It's endless, beautiful and terrifying at the same time. When you're out there looking down at planets like this one, you realize how small you are. But you also feel connected, like you're part of something much bigger." Aelira tilted her head, her luminous eyes reflecting the faint light. "I have always wondered what lies beyond the waves. My people fear the surface, the dangers it brings. But I wish to see it for myself." Liam hesitated. "It's not always safe. Out there are people species that don't understand the value of life. They take what they want, destroy what they don't. But there's also wonder and hope." Aelira reached out, her hand brushing his. "Perhaps one day you will show me." Before Liam could respond, the moment was interrupted by a soft pulse of light from the cavern entrance, a signal. A group of Naraili swam in, their expressions grave. "Liam," one of them said, their voice resonating like a low chime. "The hunters, they are returning." Liam's heart sank. "How?" "I thought we disabled their equipment." "We did," Aelira said, her voice steady but tense. "But they are persistent. They will bring reinforcements. Stronger machines." Liam clenched his fists. "Then we'll stop them again." The Naraili exchanged uncertain glances. "We cannot risk another battle," one of them said. "Our home is hidden, but if they find it..." Aelira turned to Liam. "What can we do? Is there a way to stop them for good?" Liam's mind raced. The hunters wouldn't stop until they had what they wanted. He needed a plan, something that would not only drive them away, but ensure they couldn't return. "We need to turn their own greed against them," he said after a moment. "If we make this area appear worthless, too dangerous or unprofitable, they'll leave." "How?" Alira asked, her brows furrowed. "By creating a deterrent," Liam explained. "Something that makes them believe the risks outweigh the rewards. A false signal, perhaps, one that mimics the presence of a much larger predator, something even they wouldn't dare confront." The Naraili listened intently as Liam outlined his plan. Using the remnants of the hunters' disabled equipment and the natural resources of the ocean, they would create a decoy, a simulated apex predator that would emit electromagnetic and acoustic signals, convincing the hunters that the area was the territory of a deadly creature. Over the next few days, Liam and the Naraili worked tirelessly. Alira stayed by his side, her guidance invaluable as they navigated the complexities of the underwater terrain. Together, they constructed the decoy, a towering structure that blended seamlessly with the surrounding environment. Liam programmed it to emit a series of low-frequency sounds and bioelectric pulses, replicating the behavior of a mythical sea beast that the hunters would recognize from ancient galactic lore. When the hunters returned, their ships darkened the waters above the trench. The Naraili retreated deeper into their sanctuary, watching anxiously as Liam and Alira activated the decoy. The response was immediate. The hunters' sensors picked up the signals, their machines interpreting them as the presence of a massive, highly dangerous predator. Panicked communications crackled through the water, and within minutes, the hunters' vessels turned and fled, their engines roaring as they vanished into the depths. A cheer erupted among the Naraili, their glowing forms pulsing with joy. Alira turned to Liam, her smile radiant. "You did it." "We did it," Liam corrected, a grin spreading across his face. In the days that followed, the Naraili celebrated their victory. Though they remained cautious, their spirits were lifted, and for the first time in years, they felt safe. Alira stayed close to Liam, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. But Liam knew his time with them was limited. His mission was nearing its end, and soon he would have to return to his own world. One night, as they sat together near the cavern's edge, he broached the subject. "I'll have to leave soon," he said quietly, "but I'll never forget this place. Or you." Alira's expression softened, though her eyes glimmered with sadness. "You are part of us now, Liam. No matter where you go, you will always have a place here." Liam reached out, taking her hand in his. "And you'll always have a friend among the stars. If you ever need me, I'll come back. I promise." Alira leaned closer, her forehead touching his in the same gesture of farewell she had given him before. This time, it felt less like an ending and more like a beginning, a bond that transcended distance and time. When Liam finally left Zyvara, his heart was heavy, but he carried with him the memory of Alira and the Naraili, their courage and resilience a beacon in the vastness of space. As his shuttle rose above the planet, the ocean below shimmered faintly, a reminder that even in the darkest depths, light could thrive.